This is your video on making your card light up. First thing you need your pop-up step card. You need scissors. You need your foam squares. You need this scrap piece. You need whatever color piece of paper is going to be the cover for this card. You are going to need your foil. You're also going to need your copper tape. You are going to need a glue stick, tape, your battery, and your LED. You're also going to need that electrical tape. Mine is here. Yours is on a pencil. Okay? You're going to need all those supplies. Okay. First thing you're going to do is you're going to take your cover. Whichever direction you folded this, you need to also fold this. So we're going to fold this in half. So line up the corners, go out to the edge, and then up and down. So what you should have now is this piece of paper where you can put this on the inside, like so. Now your light, no, this is my undecorated one. Your light, we're going to put it so that it's back here, so when you press the button it glows and it lights up the whole back of the cards. What you want to do is go ahead, take a writing utensil, and you got your cards stuck together. You want to put a mark where your LED is going to go. So I'm going to reach back here and I'm going to put a mark. So you can see, there's my mark, that's where my LED is going to go. The next thing you need to do is decide where do you want your battery to go. I want my battery here. Wherever you want your battery to go. It needs to be on this bottom half of your card or the same side where you put your LED. I want mine, maybe you have a snowflake or something. Mine's clearly undecorated. Mine, I would not have gotten an A from myself. So I want mine to go here, so I'm going to put my battery here. So I lift it up where I want to go, and I'm going to put my battery here. And I spelled battery wrong. Ignore that. Over here, I need to decide where I want my button or my switch to go. I want it to be over here, so I'm going to put switch. So now you're going to take this, you're going to put this to the side. You do not need this for this assignment anymore. Now we have where all of the items are going to go. So right here is where my LED is going to go. Right here is where my battery is going to go. And right here is where my switch is going to go. So your next step is you need to get from this point to this point to this point. Just like you did in your circuit. How I drew the path for you, now it is your responsibility to draw the path for yourself. I would suggest you draw it very similar to what's already been drawn for you. You can see from my switch to my battery, I might be able to draw a straight line. I would not suggest doing that. Make sure you have turns. You want your switch to be in a straight line. It'll make life a lot easier. So I'm going to go up and over to my LED, and then I'm going to go down and over and back up to my battery, and then I'm going to go from my LED down to my battery. Okay, so I got quite a few corners I need to make. Now your circuit does not have to be this big. Your circuit could be this big. It's completely up to you. So this is going to be where my LED goes. You do want to make sure that your gap for your switch right here is very small. You also want to make sure your LED gap is pretty small and your battery gap is roughly the size you need for your battery. This is fine. It's A-okay. The next step you need to do is we need to apply this copper tape. Okay. We are going to, with the copper tape, you want to measure how long it needs to be. Then you want to cut it. Then we're going to peel it. If you mess up with your copper tape, you can use foil. It's perfectly fine. You know how to do this with foil. Copper tape is just one extra thing that's kind of fun to use. So we need it to go here, and then we need it to go around my corner to here. I'm going to go a little bit longer, because longer is always better than not long enough, because I can trim it at the end. So copper tape is peel and stick. You want to peel off a little bit at a time. You don't want to peel off a whole bunch at a time. You can see I peeled a little bit. I'm going to stick it down. We're going to start right here, this line for the switch. Right there. Okay. We're going to peel a little bit and then go to this corner. And this is where those of you who tried to cheat at your corner, you have some problems. You have to make sure you fold back on itself. You can see, there you go. I folded it back on myself like that's sticky. And then I'm going to take my finger and I'm going to guide it over. Guide it over to where I want it to go. And this works better if you guide it over on top of your finger and push down. So you can see there's my corner. And then I'm going to slowly peel this off and stick it down. And you can see I have too much. That's extra. So I'm going to go ahead and cut my extra. So you can see that is one piece of the copper tape. It's done just fine. Now we're going to go from the LED to the battery. Okay. So we're going to measure that side of our LED. We're going to go around to the corner, fold back, give it some room, over on itself, and go over to our battery. And then cut it. Remember, a little bit extra is perfectly fine. So we're going to peel and stick around to the corner for our battery. And for this one, you want to go a little bit into the circle for your battery. So this one's going to go into there where our battery is, because this is going to be the piece that is under our battery. Remember, this is peel and stick, so make sure you're peeling it. Please do not try to use glue with this. It just will be a mess. So we're going to put this down right here at our starting point. You're going to peel to the corner. Peel to the corner. Okay. I'm going to rotate my card to make it a little easier to use. Fold back on itself. You can see, there it is. It's folded back on itself. Now it's sticky. Now I'm going to rotate again. Put my finger on the line I want it to go and fold it towards my finger. And then push down. So there's my corner. And then as I go, I want to peel. Make sure this is all one piece. If you tear it, you got to peel it off and start over. If you run out of copper tape, again, you can always use foil. This is fine. Copper tape just looks cool. And you want this to go under your battery, but this is too much, so we're going to cut it. There you go. Okay, that might still be a little bit too much. You want it into the circle, but you don't want it past the circle. So we're going to peel up a little bit. There we go. Okay, so when I put my battery down, this will be on top of my battery. Now we have this piece right here, and this piece, make sure you are watching the video. Make sure you are watching the video, because we have to do something different than what we've done in the past. So you can take the rest of your copper tape. We're going to measure it to make sure we have enough. We have plenty. So we're going to measure this around before we peel and stick. Okay. Then we're going to go this way. And you want this to be twice as long. Notice I folded it back on itself and then I cut it. Because what's going to happen is when we peel this, we're actually going to make this stick on top of itself, because then it's going to go on top of the battery like that. But you also, that's too long, which we'll talk about. So let's go ahead and start. Peel and stick, just like before. So we're going to start with our gap for our switch. Remember, small gap. That's a very, very small gap. Go down to the corner, fold it back on itself, and then put my finger along the direction I want it to go, and fold it back towards my finger. Ooh, that's a little messy. Fold back to my corner and stick it down, and then keep peeling around my circuit. Okay. And then fold it back on itself, and then fold it around this corner. Okay, now when I get to this edge where my battery is going to go, right about here, a little bit of a gap, so you can see there's where my battery is going to go. Make sure, yep, battery fits there. You don't want this to be under your battery. That would be bad. You want to make sure it goes over your battery. So we've got our extra. We are going to fold this over on itself. You can see there's my tail right there, my tail, and this is extra, so I'm going to cut this. Okay, so now I have my little flap. It's not sticky at all because I folded it on itself. So once again, what I did with this tail is I took the foil tape, and as it went along, this end part, I folded it back on itself so it was sticky. So it stuck to itself. So now this part is like hanging out here. So then when I put my battery down, this is going to go on top of the battery and it's not sticky. And then this other part is under the battery. It's very important that you don't want this. So we just want to make sure this should not be under the battery at all. All of this needs to go on the top of our battery. So the first thing we're going to do is actually tape our battery in. So this is under my battery entirely. This is going on top of my battery. And you want to make sure that this does not touch this side at all. Nowhere should this side touch this side. Okay? So this is where your electrical tape comes into play. Once again, we have copper tape, negative side battery put down. We have our flap that stops before our battery, that goes over top of our battery, and your flap does not touch the other side of your circuit. Okay? You take your foil or your electrical tape. Let's see, how long of a piece do we need? This is the same tape that you have on your pencil. I just don't have a pencil roll, I have a roll. You want a piece about 2 inches long. So about 2 inches long. See? About 2 inches right there. Okay. First thing you want to do is electrical tape is a little bit sticky, stretchy. Electrical tape does not conduct electricity. Okay? You're going to put it down on top, making sure that you're pushing down, and I put it down on top, and then I'm going to run my finger down the side of my battery and then tape it onto the paper. So push down on the side of your battery and then put it on the paper. So you can see there is the edge of my battery, and you can tell I've pushed this really hard because there, you can even see the tape on top of it. The copper tape. Okay. And then we're going to put this on top of here. We're going to go around this edge of our battery. And you want to make sure you're pushing down around the edge because you don't want this battery to slide around. You don't want one side of the battery to touch the other side of your circuit. Just want it nice and secure. We go down around the edge. Okay? And we have this now taped in. Okay. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to make our switch. So this switch is a button, just like you had before. You're going to use your scrap piece of cardstock. And you want your switch to be big enough to cover the gap that you have. So we're going to just cut this out. This is way too big. You just need it to go on either side of your circuit and either side of the gap that you've created. Okay, for our button, and you need to cut it out. Okay. Cut it out, cut it out. So there you go. There is my button. Now you need to take your foam squares, and you really only need one for this. You may need two. You really only probably need one. I want you to cut this into 4 small pieces. Okay, just like so. And you're going to put these in the 4 corners of your button. So, peel and stick. Peel, stick, peel. So this is sticky because this will get stuck onto your paper. Reflection is very, whatever. Okay. Peel, stick, peel. The more surface area you have available on your button, the better this is going to turn out. So peel, stick, peel. Make sure it's sticky. Yep, sure is. Oh, look. my foil came undone. Make sure we glue that down. Don't want your foil to come up. There we go. See? Maybe yours does that. So then one last piece. Peel, stick, peel. Okay? So now my corners are sticky. Now what I want to do is I'm going to flip this over so that this center section right here, get this out of the way, this center section of my button needs to go right across this gap of my switch. So I'm going to go right across it, and I'm going to push down on my foam squares so I know right there. Now I need to put on my LED, which, oh, there it is. If I did this correctly, the positive side, the long lead of my LED should go this direction, and the short one should go this direction. So I'm going to bend them apart, just like so. I'm going to put it down. Now, put it down, and then push the button. You can see, when I push the button, my LED lights up. So I put it on correctly. If you put it on like this, and you push your button, and it doesn't light up, first thing you need to do is flip your LED. And it should light up. And notice, you know, sometimes you need to push around on this button to figure out exactly where you need to push. It happens. It's okay. We are dealing with foil paper. Now that I have my LED, I know which way it goes. I need to tape this down. So remember, we need to take tiny little pieces of foil to put in between our tape and our LED. Little pieces of foil. That's probably too small. We want this size. Okay. Little piece of foil. There's one. There's two. And we're going to put them right across our LED leads, just like before. So we're going to pick up our foil right there, and we are going to tape down our LED lead. So tape it down, just like so. Okay, so that's nice and tight. Make sure you're taping this down very tightly. We're going to do that again with the other side. So I have my foil right here, and we're going to put it right across that metal lead of our LED and push down. Look, I'm even using my nail. And then push down the tape. So let's check. Yep. When I push the button, my light lights up. This is what you need to show me your video of. You need to show me that when you push this button, your LED lights up. Okay? That's all you need to do for Thursday and Friday. Make sure that when you close your card, see, your LED is not lighting up. You don't want your LED to light up when your card is closed, because that would result in your battery being dead. If that's happening because your gap is not big enough between your button and your circuit, so you'll need to take this off, put it down tighter. You might even need to put extra foam under here to make it rise up a little bit thicker in between. If your LED does not light up, make sure you are pressing with 2 fingers. Make sure your LED is right here. And then, all else fails, peel off this battery and make sure that your battery is taped down securely. Like, if you notice, I pushed here, I made sure this is tight, and then I pushed here. So, show me a video of your card lighting up. Okay? That's all you have to do for Thursday and Friday.